Every young guy craves and longs for a father. When Angela's kid, Billy, called the stranger Daddy, it may have been a little awkward for her, but you won't believe how this man, Michael, answered. Welcome to Amazing Truth Channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new. Now go to the story. Rosie was parenting her son by herself. Taking on Michael by herself was not what she had anticipated doing. Having grown up with an absentee father, she made a self-promise to herself to give her kids a stable home. Despite having had an amazing mother, she had missed the experiences her peers experienced with their fathers. Rosie thought of dads as being linked with the more daring and dangerous activities in life, such as riding motorbikes, fishing, and camping. She always preferred more tomboyish hobbies, but even though her mother made an effort to include them in their everyday routine, she wasn't particularly good at them. Rosie, a pretty but somewhat rough woman, fell in love with Stan while she was in her early 20s. She felt more secure in Stan's presence because he was a little older. Although they tried to spend as much time as possible together, Rosie made the decision to live away from Stan. She was always a little scared that the relationship would not work out and desired more security in her life. She also made the decision to wait to have children until after marriage. After nearly a year of dating, Rosie was eager for their relationship to take a more serious turn. She wanted to know if the relationship had any permanence or future, but she didn't want to put Stan under any kind of strain. She quickly discovered that Stan shied away from talking about it. It took Rosie several weeks to make up her mind after those well-practiced bursts of comedy. She made the decision to end the relationship with Stan if he could not envision a bright future with her. She thought she deserved more out of life, despite how difficult this was for her. Stan seemed unconcerned when she informed him it was time for her to go on with her life. Although it crushed her heart, this proved that he was not the man for her happily ever after. A few weeks after their breakup, Rosie received a shocking revelation. A pregnancy test validated her darkest fear. She had no spouse with whom to announce her pregnancy. It had happened to her, the one thing she'd pledged never to do. Stan had informed her he didn't want children at this point in his life, and she knew he wouldn't take care of the child, so she made the decision not to tell him she was pregnant. She was determined to raise the child on her own, male or female. She was going to be the best mother she could be, just like her mother had done. Rosie knew she had made the proper choice not to include Stan in Michael's life when he was born. He was continuing to live life on the wild side and had already entered into a new relationship. Rosie made the decision to go because she didn't think this was a good place to raise a child, and in case she ran into Stan again and he had a chance to figure things out. Although it was difficult to start over as a single mother in a new place, Rosie was fortunate to find both a fantastic daycare and a solid job. She frequently enrolled in classes to increase her knowledge because she was totally focused on her work. Many gentlemen were interested in dating Rosie at this period in her life, but she found it difficult to trust them. They all made her think of Stan, and she didn't think any of them would stick around through good times or bad. She briefly dated a number of them, but never entered into a committed relationship. Michael developed into a lovely young man and a dedicated student. A boy in these circumstances is usually expected to be rebellious. Yet Michael made the decision to shape his own future at an early age. He wanted to succeed in life as a way of giving back to his mother for raising him so well. He was always the best student in his class in school and carried this out into college. He chose to specialize in pediatrics after becoming a doctor, thanks to scholarships from several institutes. His focus was on helping young patients with medical issues. Michael's medical practice saw a lot of patients come in, but he always went above and beyond to assist each family. He was especially fond of single moms who had to take care of their ailing children on their own. His heart skipped a beat the day Angela and her son Billy entered his practice. Though it was for quite another purpose, you could assume it was because Angela was a stunning woman. Billy's mother was carrying him into the practice in her arms. He was breathing shallowly and had a fever that was dangerously high. It seemed as though Michael was staring into the reflection of the boy he had taken from his mother's arms. Dr. Michael was obligated to save Billy's life, and he didn't even consider whether the boy's family had health insurance. Billy needed immediate surgery. We will take care of all the other details subsequently. Michael could finally tell Angela that everything had gone fine throughout the 2 hours of operation. Angela insisted on being by her son's bedside even after he ordered her to go home and rest. He was all she had, she told the doctor. This was another boy, Michael knew at once, who was going to grow up without a father. He felt something special for Billy and Angela right away. Billy was maintained under deep sedation for the following 3 days, spending most of his time asleep. His mother was by his side all the time. Nurses had to bring her food and liquids twice a day since she never got off her son's bed. When he became completely cognizant, she wanted to be there. This single mother was well liked by all for her commitment and upbeat outlook. She was grateful for everything the staff had done for her kid and never once voiced any complaints, treating them all with the utmost respect. Billy was required to spend 7 days in the hospital. Every day, Dr. Michael made his rounds with all of his patients twice, but he also made time to chat with Angela and Billy during his lunch break. He was glad to have this smart woman as a companion, and he could not help but notice how beautiful she was. He was married to his career up until this point, but the moment he laid eyes on her, his heart skipped a beat. He stopped by as Angela was reading Billy a bedtime tale on the final night in the hospital. Billy said in a low voice, "Good night, Mommy," as he drifted off. "Daddy, good night." When Michael noticed that Angela was embarrassed and wanted to apologize, he simply gave her a gentle nudge and encouraged her to continue telling the story. He slipped out of the room as she continued to read. The following morning, Angela and Billy were released from the hospital. Michael was nowhere to be found, and Angela was hoping to say thank you for everything he accomplished and to apologize for the awkward moment the night before. She was a little let down too, since she thought this doctor was great and had observed that he lacked a ring on his finger. One evening, as the sun was setting, Angela's front door was knocked on. Dr. Michael was standing directly in front of her when she opened up. Though her heart was racing a little, she was still shocked to find him there. Dr. Michael just said, "Good evening." At that point, he added, "I'm here to visit with my client. Could I please enter?" Angela allowed Michael in, still a little bewildered. Billy was on the living room floor, fiddling with a few of his toys. He instantly leaped to his feet and hurried for the doctor as he looked up and noticed him. Michael hauled him up with ease once he flung his arms around his legs. "Your heart will shatter at what this doctor did next." "Billy, how are you doing?" stated Michael. "Daddy came to see how you were doing." Angela was astounded by what she heard. She felt speechless, and tears began to well up in her eyes. She waited for the doctor to say anything because she didn't know how to react to the circumstances. Michael gave her a smile and told her that he would be happy to take on the role of a father figure for her son. "And if you let me come around often, I might be able to convince you to become a boyfriend or husband figure to you," he said. He then extended his hand, and she was in his arms in an instant. Needless to say, following the whirlwind passion and marriage to his mother, Angela, little Billy soon had an actual father when Michael officially adopted him. What a fitting conclusion. How do you feel about the sacrifices made by these two single mothers? Leave a comment below to let us know. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you later. If you like the story, surely the next video that's appearing on your screen will move you too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any of our next videos.